Hi, my name is David and welcome to AllCBTs. In today's video, we'll be looking at the top likely questions you are to expect for your NABTEB English exams. Now, I've taken from the major sections on which the English exam for NABTEB is usually assessed, which is essay, summary, comprehension, lexis and structure, oral English, grammar and editing category to ensure that you are catered for all-rounder. So this is the first video of 3 videos that I will be making. I'll be making a part 2 and a part 3 series to ensure that I fully cover everything you need to know on the NABTEB English syllabus. So if you are yet to be subscribed to the channel, you want to smash the subscribe button and stay updated so that when we release updates to these questions, you'll be notified and you can ace your exams beautifully. Now we're going to start with the comprehension passage. The comprehension passage is just a short curated passage after which we'll be given a question or a series of questions that we have to answer from that passage. So let's read the comprehension passage now. It says, in many developing countries, unemployment among young people remains one of the greatest challenges to national progress. It's true, as in Nigeria, as a case study. Each year, thousands of graduates from universities and colleges with certificates but without practical skills that industries require. Also very true. The result is an ever-growing gap between job seekers and available opportunities. Yes, so there are a lot of certified people, but they don't have the skills, down skills that companies are actually looking for. Alright, to address this, governments and educational bodies have begun to emphasize vocational and entrepreneurial skills alongside academic studies. So they're not just teaching mathematics in English. They're beginning to add entrepreneurial courses. Alright? Yeah. Skill acquisition programs ranging from carpentry and tailoring to information technology are being integrated into school curricula or curriculum. These skills enable young people to become self-reliant, reducing the dependency on white-collar jobs that are often scarce. Okay, next. However, there are obstacles despite these improvements. Funding for training centers is often inadequate, equipment is outdated, and societal attitudes still favor formal office work over skilled trade. It's true. Okay, the attitude to the society, the community perspective still favor white-collar jobs, even though there is not as much money in it as it is improved vocational and entrepreneurial studies or vocations. Until these barriers are removed, skill acquisition efforts will not yield their full benefits. In spite of these challenges, there are many success stories of young people who, through determination and creativity, have built thriving businesses vocationally. Their achievements prove that with the right support, skill acquisition can be a powerful tool in reducing unemployment and stimulating economic growth. Very correct, right? Now, any country that is blossoming, that is doing well, the truth of the matter is that the larger population of that country has to be in the working class. Okay, either a formal kind of job or the vocational kind of job. All right, let's go to the questions from the comprehension passage. Question 1. What is identified as one of the greatest challenges to national progress in many developing countries? Now, note that developing countries is a major problem. It's not like it's not a problem in all countries, but it's more of a problem in developing countries. And what do we see in the first paragraph? We saw unemployment. Yes. So the whole comprehension is majorly on the problems and the fixes to unemployment. So unemployment will be the answer to this. 2. Why is there a gap between job seekers and available opportunities? If you remember, still in the first to the second paragraph, the gap between the job seekers and available opportunities was that the job seekers had certification from schools, but didn't have the down skills, the vocational skills, entrepreneurial skills that the employers were looking for, which make them to be unfit for most of the roles or for most of the jobs. Now, mention two examples of skills that are included in school curricula as part of skill acquisition programs. Now, if you also saw it, which I did, okay, you can pause or scroll back. You can do a rewind on the video, and then you can see that I mentioned two particular skills that were cited in the passage, which was tailoring and carpentry. So, two examples of skills included in school curricula as part of skill acquisition programs. Yes, tailoring has been included, carpentry has been included, among other entrepreneurial skills. Question 4. List two obstacles facing skill acquisition efforts mentioned in the passage. Let's look at this one now, so I can point it out. But one of the problems was societal attitudes. Yes, societal attitudes still favor formal office work over skilled trade. This is one problem that vocational skill traders are facing. Let's see another problem. So this is one. Let's see. Okay, you see there are also one, funding. Funding for training centers is often inadequate. This is a problem that skill developmental centers are facing. They are facing funding problem, and you know it's true. They are also facing outdated equipment. Many of them are using equipment that they used to train 30 years ago to train new graduates now, whereas the world has fast moved from those equipment. In other words, if they leave their immediate city and travel offshore or abroad, those equipment might be obsolete there. So that's a problem, the obstacle that they are facing. So let's go back to questions. You have question 5. How have some young people overcome the challenges in skill acquisition? Now let's see from the passage now. How have some young people overcome the problem? Okay, look at it here. In spite of these challenges, there are many success stories of young people who, through determination and creativity. So these are the ways through which creativity. For example, now young people now use social media. They go very innovative and creative using social media to boost whatever it is they do. You see a lot of tailors now that are multi-millionaires. It wasn't so 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But due to the rise of social media and determination, a lot of people now know how to approach the prospective clients they have in view due to social media knowledge, all right, and to get jobs, to land big gigs. So young people now, through determination and creativity, are able now to build thriving businesses. I think it's the last question we are on now. What evidence does the passage give that skill acquisition can reduce unemployment? I just mentioned it. Okay, people are able to now land jobs. So that's an evidence here through determination and skill. But there's also another question. Let me take the 7th one so we'll look at it together. In one sentence, summarize the main idea of the passage. So you now do a summary, and your summary can be a simple one paragraph. Okay, it says one sentence, so you have to read the instruction. So in one sentence, so unemployment is a big problem in most developing countries, but through skill acquisition, determination, and creativity, young people are able to overcome these obstacles and build successful businesses. That's a beautiful one, a nice summary. Okay, let's see that last paragraph again. I wanted to pick out what evidence of the passage have on skills. Okay, so let's see now. Through determination and creativity, young people have built thriving businesses. Their achievements prove that with the right support, skill acquisition can be a powerful tool in reducing unemployment. So, if you like, you can even cite example in your local city. Since this is a local exam, NABTEB is for Nigerians. So you can cite examples of young people you know that are doing very well. We have Yemi the tailor, Yomi the tailor. We have a lot of guys like that. Carpentry guys. They are doing very well. They have big, very massive industrial buildings or factories. And many of them didn't even go through ones of the university system. So that's something you can cite there. All right, so we leave comprehension passage and then we go to another category that you are going to see in your NABTEB English exam. If you are yet to be subscribed to this channel, you've enjoyed it up to the 5-minute mark. I'm sure we've exceeded 5 minutes now. You want to smash the subscribe button. Also, if you have learned, even if it's just one thing, you want to show that yes, you do, and the video is helpful by smashing the like button. Yeah. Also, you can practice many questions as this in related exam questions using our apps, and you'll find the link to download these apps in the description of this video. Now we'll go to the second section, essay writing. What is essay writing? It's just to test how you are able to gather your thoughts and put it and document it, all right, on paper. So that's what essay writing is majorly about. And we have different categories of essay writing. So we're going to start with the first one, argumentative writing. What's argumentative writing? It's like a debate. It's taking sides, arguing a point. You are either for or against the motion. And what's the motion here? Boarding schools are better than day schools. So from this motion, you can deduce that you are expected to go for the motion. All right, so you're expected to defend this motion. State the reason why it's true. Boarding schools are better than day schools. What are boarding schools? These are schools that students are camped for a while. So they go through their life, their daily living, their feeding, their accommodation, everything is happening there. Like in the university system, most university systems, especially undergraduate university system. Whereas the day school is the one that you go in the daytime and return before sun sets. Yep. Okay, so now how do you answer this? Okay, you might be given a limitation to writing. Maybe they will say 300 words, so 450 words. Or they may not say anything at all. Even if the examiner has not requested an amount of words, professional essay writing should not exceed 400 to 450 words. So don't go so many pages. It might only bore your examiner, especially if you don't have a pattern. You are just going on ending. So this is the pattern now that I've listed here for you. First, define the stance, as I just did. I've defined boarding school, I've defined day school. So you want to help the reader to know what the difference is. And then compare the discipline of both schools. So which one discipline is better? Which one is better in regarding to discipline? Supervision. Which one is better in regarding to supervision of the student? Socialization. Which one does the student have fun whilst learning? Also talk about cost. Yes, which one most of the time? Which one is cheaper or more expensive? Let's see other things that you should talk about. Homesickness. Yes, homesickness is real in terms of the boarding school. Then parental oversight. Parents are not able to include or input enough input in terms of boarding school. And conclude with balanced judgment. Okay, but make sure that you stay on course, which is what you are for the motion. Okay, make sure you stay on course as for the motion, even though you don't completely overrule the other side, the against side, but you make sure that you have a balanced judgment and you help the reader to see why you are defending or supporting the motion that boarding school is better than day school. That's a beautiful one. Now the next one we have a discursive essay. Discuss the effects of examination malpractice on national development. What's examination malpractice? Is finding one way or the other to boycott examination rule. Okay, how does it affect national development? So here are some points you can put in. Practice. Ensure you practice these writings. Maybe you do two versions, and then you give to your parent or an elder person or a friend who is better in English than you are, so that the person can assess you, point you out. That way you are building and nurturing yourself for the exam. So what are the effects of exam malpractice in a country like Nigeria? They are looking at the value certificates. It devalues the worth of the certificates. Then poor skills, people don't have the skills that is required for the job because they actually didn't pass the course. Corruption cycle, it keeps the corruption index high in a particular country or state, and then you list the solutions. So you start with defining or giving a brief insight into examination malpractice, then you go straight into the effects in a community, in a society, and then you go to the possible cures and countermeasures to this effect, and then you come to a summary. So what are the solutions? Tech integrity, that means schools should move on to CBTs instead of pen on paper, which is what you see is happening now in cases of exams like JAM, WAEC, and all of that. It's now mandated, including NECO, to move on to CBTs to reduce, the exam malpractice, which is overwhelming the system. The stricter invigilations, like the use of CCTV and co, civic education, is educating the public on the negative impact of exam malpractice. All right, and that's that. Question 10, a narrative essay. What is narrative? It's like storytelling. You want to give us your view, okay, of the story. The day teamwork saved the project. So before you start writing a story, very important point I want to make. Before you start writing a story, make sure that you have arranged your story. Make sure you've plotted your story, you've looked at the character, you've looked at the plan for the story before you begin. So you're looking at clear plot, and this is how you move in your story. Make sure that your climax is always after 50% of your writing. So make sure there's suspense whenever you are writing a story. Some of you already are good in writing stories because you write a lot of storybooks and novels. So make sure that there's always a climax. It's like somebody who is traveling from here to Abuja. A point comes where you hit your highest speed, and then a point comes you begin to decelerate when you're approaching the end of your journey. So that's how it should be with your story. And then question 11, descriptive essay. Okay, and what's the motion we have about the topic? A rainy market morning in your town. So you want to discuss a particular rainy market day that you witnessed in your town. Probably when your mom or your parents sent you to a market to shop in your area. You want to just witness. Now, when you write a descriptive essay always use the senses, always engage the senses of the reader. So you want to carry us on like an imaginative journey. You want to bring us into the picture. You are telling us how you came out of the house. It was a clear day. And then how you jumped into the keke napep. You were heading for Super Ilekpo. That is supposed to be a 15 minutes journey. And then you bumped into the traffic. You had to stay there 1 hour. And then it began to get dark. You see, as I'm speaking, you almost can see yourself in that napep with me. You almost can imagine the whole thing. It began to get dark. And then it started getting windy. Before you knew it, there was rush. There was frenzy. Finally, you go to the market. It started to drizzle. The market women were running at a scatter. Gary was pouring all over the ground. You know, that kind of stuff. So you make sure that it's sensory. All our senses are involved. My eyes, I'm kind of like seeing what you're saying. My brain is involved. Imagery, coherent paragraphing, precise vocabulary. The vocabulary must be on point. You don't need to use big words, but make sure that we can understand you clearly. And then question 12. This one now is on formal letter. Write to the PTA chairman or chairwoman requesting repair of the school science lab. So you are writing this particular one to the PTA chairperson, Parent Teacher Association, requesting repair of the school science lab. Now this will happen in a government school, a public school. Okay, I'm not sure you write to the PTA, you are writing to a private school. So make sure you note that definitely your address has to be to a public school. It's only public schools that you can talk to the PTA about chair repair. Okay, so because you are writing to the PTA, that should be formal. That should be a formal letter, a chair, PTA chair. So look at that now. Formal tone. Specifics. Yes, talk about the hazards and the problems, the challenges that the students has been facing using broken chairs, broken seats. Then move on to give solutions, including an estimated cost. That makes your point more solid. So an estimated cost, you have been in contact with a furniture maker, a furniture repairer, and this is the cost to put new set of chairs in the school science lab. Also, make sure they are aware, the reader or the chairperson is aware of the dangers that can arise from using broken down seats, because somebody could be performing an experiment and sleep because it's not well positioned and then get acids spill all over the place. So cautious close, yes, end with a cautious close, not a demand. Okay, end with a cautious close. All right, and there we have it for writing. Now we move on to the next category, summary writing. So summary writing, what happens in summary writing is this. You are given a passage and then the examiner says, summarize this passage. It gives you an amount of words or an amount of lines, an amount of sentences. It may even give you in paragraphs and say summarize in 2 paragraphs or 1 paragraph. So in this case, we are given 150 words. And then you are asked to summarize this 150 words. Can you scroll down, please? You are asked to summarize this 150 words to I think 100 words. So this is yes. So summarize the writer's view in about 100 words. So just about 50%. You have to summarize it into 100 words. So just to reduce. So look at what you have to do now. Let's scroll up a little bit more. Yes. So okay. I thought I listed what you have to do. It's just to take the points and cringe the points or reduce the wordings most of the time. Make sure that in whatever summary you're doing, look at condense. That's what I was looking for. So just condense the main ideas or the points, the main points. Make sure that it still retain its meaning. In other words, when you read what was written and you read what you said, it still means the same thing. It's just that you have reduced the wordings. The main points still exist. So remove examples, illustrations. If they had 3, can remove 2, leave with 1. So use your own words, paraphrasing. Okay. And then next, we have lexis and structure. See, I'm taking them categories like I promised. Now let's see some of the lexis and structure we have. No sooner dash than the light went out. Now, sooner would always go with hard. Hard is always the next word. It's a rule. It's a rule. Hard is always the next word after sooner. It's the next inversion. It's an inversion. So no sooner had we arrived than the lights went out. So had is the correct option there. And then question 15. What's the nearest meaning to abate? Abate. Abate will mean to reduce. Abate. Okay. And abate is often used with emotion. Emotion. So his anger had was abated. His fury was abated. Abate is always often used with emotion. So nearest meaning to abate would be to lessen, reduce. 16 now. I'm not sure my numbering is correct, but it's okay. Opposite in meaning to scarce. Scarce. So scarce is what? Shortage, a lack, an insufficiency. And the opposite would be what? Abundance, plenty. All these are synonyms. Other words for scarce. Only plentiful is like the opposite. 17 now, we have correct proposition. Ada is proficient, that's German. What's a proposition? Is a noun or a pronoun, or just a nice word or a word that joins 2 nouns in the right context, or 2 pronouns or parts of sentences together. So Ada is proficient In. When you talk about language, you use in. Is good in English or is good in mathematics. Some persons use heart, but the better one to use is in. Use in when you're referring to language, especially proficiency. Use in. 18 now, Concord. Neither the players nor the coach dash satisfied. Now I've taken this question a lot in my English classes. Neither the players nor the coach dash satisfied. Now, neither means not one. It's a singular word. It's used for singular tenses. So neither means not one. You can also replace this with not one of the players nor the coach. What will now be here? If it's not one, since it's singular, neither is singular. So what has to be here? The verb that has to be here has to be singular. So neither the players nor the coach is satisfied. Also note that the verb that is here, subject-verb agreement. Okay, so the verb, this is the subject, and this is the verb. And in subject-verb agreement, the verb will always agree to the nearer subject. So we have two subjects. Sorry, this is not the subject. These are the subjects: players and coach. Players is a subject, coach is a subject in the sentence. So the verb will always agree to the nearer subject. And the nearer subject here is coach. When you're talking about coach, you're talking about one person. If he had said coaches, okay, then that would be like 2, 3 persons. So because coach is in the singular, your verb here will also be in the singular, which would be what? Is satisfied. Alright? If you are enjoying this class up until this time, why not smash the subscribe button and hit the like button to show that you do, so that we can be motivated more to upload a follow-up to this class. And then question 19. What's the appropriate register for this? In terms of law, you can see that law was put in bracket so that you get the right collocation. So the accused was granted dash. What do you give? What do you grant the accused from here in terms of law and legality? Is it leave, license? Leave is used in terms of employment, okay, and formal setting. License, government. Bail, freedom, so bail. The accused is a legal thing. Bail, we give accused bail. 20. Phrasal verb. Let's dash the meeting till Monday. What's the correct phrasal verb? Let's put off. Put off. Let's hold the meeting. Let's delay the meeting. Postpone the meeting. 21 now. You have best completion. Which of these options best complete this sentence? He insisted dash paying the fees immediately. He insisted on paying the fees immediately. 22 then. Collocation. Okay, collocation. What's the right collocation that is used with rain? You have strong rain? No. Big rain? Definitely not. Heavy rain? And you have deep rain. Okay, most of the time, or the correct one, not even most of the time, the correct collocation for rain is heavy rain. We use heavy with rain. Oh, the rain is heavy. Heavy rainfall or heavy downpour. Yeah. 23 then. You have idiom. To bury the hatchet is an idiomatic expression. It means to conceal evidence, that means to make peace. Bury the hatchet means to make peace. Let's bury the hatchet. You hear it between two people at strife. 24. Now we move to oral English. Phonetics. Oral English. Now, what is the word containing the what is it? That's J. Now you have nation, pressure, no measure. Then you have pressure. Then you have mission, nation. Now this one has a the sound. Nation, sound. pressure, sound. Only measure has the that's the sound. It leaves a vibration at your vocal cord when you say because it's a vibration. Why these other ones don't cause a vibration? You have mission, pressure, and that. So B is the correct one. Then let's see, odd one out by vowel sound. You have cough, thought, but, do. Okay, maybe you can get it right. The reason why many people make mistakes with sounds because most people don't like sounds questions. And the reason is because they don't really know the correct sound for the word. Alright? So and if you don't know the correct pronunciation or intonation or sound of the word, how do you be able to get it correctly? So that's why many people make mistakes. But let's look at this now correctly. You have this one as cough, thought, both, do. So this has the O sound. All these other ones have the O sound. Cough, O. Thought, O. Both, O. Do, O. You see the difference now. 26. Error spotting. Now, so you have to spot the error from these ones now. You see that we've covered a lot. Yeah? Error spotting and correction. 26. Each of the applicants have submitted. Each of the applicants have submitted. Where is the error in this particular sentence? Each of the applicants have submitted. The error is on have. Now, each is used with a singular. So, it should be has. Each of the applicants has submitted. Because each is in the singular, our verb, conjoining word here should be also in the singular. So, this should be has. 27. The scissors is on the table. The scissors is on the table. Now, scissors here is in the plural. So, that means more than one scissors. So, this should be are. The scissors are on the table. We are spotting the errors. 28. Reported speech. She said, I finished the task yesterday. She said that she had finished the task yesterday. That's important. Now, this is the active speech. She said, I finished the task yesterday. The reported speech for this will be, she said that I had finished the task yesterday. So there we have it for the first section of our NABTEB English preparation test. Make sure you copy and master this very, very, very well. As if you are very good in this and can gain mastery of this, you can almost have a bit of a confidence that you will kill the NABTEB English assessment exam. And yes, if you are yet to be subscribed to the channel, like I said, we make it free for you. So the way you appreciate us is by liking the video and sharing it to your friends, and then also subscribing to the channel. And then make sure to practice all of these questions and many more on our apps that you can see attached to this video. My name is David, and I'll see you in the next edition. Bye. Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 types of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC, Kakao,